houses. Beautiful, colorful houses. Hello guys, this is Nestor in China. But actually these days I'm in Mexico. As you can see, the Mexican house is so colorful. But it's not the same thing in China. Today we're going to talk about apartments in China. I will show you the process of renting an apartment, where to look apartment, about some prices, what to look when we rent an apartment, and at the end of the video, we will have an inside look at an apartment in China. So let's get started. In Mexico, as in many of our countries, we have a lot of land, so we have houses. However, in China, as you may know, similar to Japan, the land, there's more people than land, so we all live in apartments. And we just rent apartments because buying an apartment now is really very expensive. Today, to buy an apartment, you need like a 2 or 3 generations. Like your parents start saving, then you start saving, and then when you marry, your parents have you with deposit, and then you pay some other money, and so on. So now buying an apartment in China is not very easy. It's only for the wealthy, and the young generations they just rent apartment. And also expats like me, foreigners in China, we just rent apartment. It's more convenient. Basically, in China, you buy an apartment, you plan to live there, or you have family because it gives you social benefits like you can send your children to school and other benefits. So, what is the process of renting an apartment? Well, you may think it involves a lawyer, an agent, a bunch of people, paperwork. Well, that's the magic of China. Here is everything so simple. Last month, when I was back to China from Mexico, I had to rent a temporary apartment in Shenzhen where my office was. And so I just chose the cheapest apartment possible. And this is the process of renting an apartment in China. Let's watch it together. I'm back in Shenzhen, finding my new apartment to live temporarily. So I come back to Shenzhen, I had no apartment, so I had to look at a new one. So essentially it's very easy, but you need only the passport. And some paperwork, so I'm waiting for the girl. I checked the apartment, it's quite good, small, and very cheap. So they had to take photos of my business and everything. I don't think she knows what she's doing, but it's fine. As long as I get my apartment, I'm happy.
不是大姐好亲切那种，哎，她每天过来就真是大姐，我说你说是
但是外国人还是新疆人。
我进新疆去了是吧？要他哎。
Shenzhen is very convenient for business. Everything's fast. I just arrive 5 minutes, find the place I like it, and I sign in. I will pay, and that's it. I have an apartment to live for the next month while I work in Shenzhen. So they say they need a lot of information, my name, my phone number, and my working information. I had no idea, but I have my colleague here, so they are doing it. Yeah. They keep working on the paperwork. It's very serious. So we need to sign some documents and then put this finger and stamp it on every paper here. It's a cute cat. It's a custom in China. It's good for business, but it moves the hand. If the hand's not moving, it's not good. Just now I helped and it was fixed, so I had to move it so they can have business. There you go. In less than 1 hour, you have a place to live. In China, paperwork is needed, yes, but as long as you can pay for the things, you can get what you want. The price of apartments in China vary a lot. Depends on the city, depends on what you need. For example, the average prices in the most expensive cities in China is Shanghai. So in Shanghai, you can find an apartment for 5,000 yuan, which is about $680, up to 8,000 yuan, which is about $1,100. What's the difference? So the first price is like a studio apartment. It's just one room. You have everything there, your bed, your small kitchen. So, while the other price is like more proper apartment. You have your room divided by walls. Basically, you have a living room, etc. Right? And then you have lower tier cities like the city I live in, Xiamen. So in Xiamen, you can get an apartment for as low as 2,500 yuan, which is about $350, up to 4,000 yuan, $550. And although these prices, maybe if you are watching this video from United States, Mexico, Europe, maybe it's not that expensive. However, for most of people here, it's not cheap, especially students just graduating looking for a job. So actually you can find apartments for less than 2,000 yuan, which is about $280. However, don't expect too much things. It's a very small room, and sometimes you have to share it with other people, in this case co-workers. And we have the other end, more expensive, up to, you name it, 20,000 yuan, which is over 3,000 US dollars. So what kind of people living here? Well, mostly expats, because the wealthy Chinese will not rent, they buy the apartments. But the wealthy foreigners, yes, these are people that work for international companies, or they have their own business here, and for some purposes, they're willing to pay more to have a nice lifestyle without spending all his money buying a house. So how we find apartments in China? There are basically two ways. You can do it offline or you can do it online. In our countries, what you have in the corner? If you're in Mexico, you have maybe shops, grocery shops. But in China, in every corner, you have real estate agencies. Real estate is a good business in China. The rental business is also a good business. A lot of the young people do take this job as agents. So in every corner, you have very nice rental offices. They just go there and then you tell them the range price you're willing to pay, what kind of apartment you're looking for, and if you prefer some areas. And they will guide you, but of course, they will take commission, which basically is half months renting goes to them as a commission, and the landlord pays them the other half. So basically, they earn 1 month's renting for the business. And the other way is online. There are a lot of apps and websites. In particular, there's one of them that sometimes I use. It's called 58.com. There's no advertisement, just mentioned for you. It's very easy to use. Just sit there, log in, you choose your city, and they will give you a range of options like price range, etc. As you can see here. So this is the website we use in China for renting apartments. It's among one of the most popular ones and the one I use. Here we can see some prices. At first glance, it looks so cheap, but it's only marketing. You look at this price, 600 yuan per month. It's like $100 per month. Of course, that's not real, okay? If we keep scrolling down, we can see more realistic prices like 3,200. This is about $500 per month. So what's the difference? If we click in the cheap one, this is about $90 or $100 per month. You can see the apartment. First thing is small. It's only this room, it's like a 20 square meters. And the photo looks beautiful, but actually it's not. It's only all this decoration is for a picture. Once you rent the apartment, it comes empty. You have to put everything, decoration, the covers, etc. So here are some photos of the apartment, which again are like a Photoshop to make it look better. And here in the trick in the price also the location. If we zoom in, here is the city, the downtown, which is Xiamen, and the apartment is outside downtown. So it means you need to commute every day to the downtown to work or do your businesses, because all the main restaurants and services are here, and outside is not much. That's why outside is cheaper. Also, the salaries are lower. Now we look at the one of 3,500 yuan, which is almost $500 per month. So this is more realistic price. The apartment still doesn't look nice. You can see, we can look at the photos here. All right, but it's bigger. And at least this photo is honest. It seems like the landlord is one landlord, because the business is so good that they have two, even three landlords. So one landlord rented to the second landlord rented to the third landlord, and the third landlord rent it to you, which means the price is much more expensive because everybody has to have a cut, right? So the price is more realistic because the apartment is bigger, and also you will notice here, this apartment is just in downtown, inside the island. So these are an example of prices and kind of apartments that you can find in China. So what does involve renting an apartment in China? Basically, you need some identification, in my case, a passport, or you are Chinese, your Chinese ID card. Then you need to pay 1 month rent in advance, 1 month rent as deposit. And if you use an agent, you have to pay half month as a commission. And that's it, you sign some contract. And if you are a foreigner, after signing the contract, you have to go to a police station to register as a foreigner. They require you, every time you move place, you have to do this address registration. Usually contracts are for 1 year to 2 years, or sometimes 6 months. So some people if they're just temporary in the city or they don't know how long they're going to stay, they go for the short term, 6 months. Now, are you wondering what an apartment in China look like? Let's take a look at one of them, which is my apartment in Xiamen actually. Now I want to show you what the average apartment in China looks like. They are all very small, maybe not as small as in Japan. In China we still have land, but nevertheless, I'm pretty sure it's smaller than your country. So I live in a kind of loft. It's at 2 levels, and the first level, which is downstairs, we have a small living room. In my case, I have a beautiful view of the city at night. I live close to the sea. Over there is the sea. And most apartments, it doesn't matter the price, they come with standard air conditioner because it's all made in China. Can you see the brand Haier? One of the big brands in China. And also it comes with a fridge, refrigerator, but not as big as this. This is actually very big. And the TV, we also spoil always a plasma screen, but this is not always. In my case, my apartment's a little more expensive, not so much, but no, not as cheap as others. So it comes with a TV also. It's all included in the price of the rent. That's my decoration, my lamp. It doesn't come with the apartment. I have my small table, working table. That's my electric bicycle. Also doesn't come with the apartment. And they have a kitchen. A small kitchen here, which is beautiful. Also, this is not for small apartments. It's a medium-sized apartment. It comes with that. And here I have one small guest bathroom. That's what I have in the first floor. Then we go upstairs. Where's the main bath? Where's the main bathroom? There's the main bed. Also an air conditioner here. Everything comes with the apartment. What I like here is the finishing, the wooden, and it's beautiful. I like a clean space. The main bathroom, the shower here. And this is a second room for guests, but I use it as a storage room. I'm single, so I don't make any use of this room. And then we go downstairs again. And that's pretty much what a standard apartment in China look like. Although I tell you this is not pretty standard. It's like says medium average. So definitely my apartment doesn't look like this one, right? One day, maybe one day. If you guys will support, maybe one day I can monetize it. I can buy a house like this in China, which will cost me millions and millions. But this is Mexico. Actually, I have a house here in Mexico, so I'm not doing that bad. And that's it for this video, guys. If you find it informative, please give it a like and subscribe for more interesting videos about China. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Adios.